Have you ever seen those crazy 90-day body transformation before and after pictures and wondered to yourself if that's realistic? Or have you ever wondered what you can expect in a 3-month body transformation if you're over 40 or like me, over 50? So if you've ever wondered what a realistic 3-month body transformation looks like, then stay tuned because that's what I'll be sharing in this video. My name's Kevin Yates. I'm a health and fitness coach, and for the last 25 years, I've been helping people over 40 eliminate nagging chronic aches and pains when conventional methods have failed without medications or surgery. And in this video, I'll share with you what a realistic 3-month body transformation looks like. And I'll even share some of the results that I've got during my first 3 months in my own body transformation. So I'll share something with you real quick, and this is important. A realistic body transformation is not losing 30 pounds in 30 days. It's not getting ripped six-pack abs in 3 months. It takes work, it takes planning and preparation, and there's at least 6 things that you're gonna need to know to make your body transformation a success. So the first thing is, let's talk about fat loss or weight loss. So a realistic 3-month body transformation, when we're talking about losing fat or losing weight, you can expect to lose about 1 to 2 pounds per week. Now, it's not a lot, but it is more of a realistic look. Now, what'll happen in the beginning stages, and this depends on how much weight or body fat that you have to lose. The more you have to lose, the more you actually can lose week to week in the early phases. So your first, maybe month or so, you might find that you lose, if you have a lot of body fat to lose, you might find that you're losing maybe 3 pounds or up to 5 pounds. But what will happen is that as you make that initial loss, that initial weight and body fat start to come down, those results will slow down a little bit. And so, a more realistic look, again, it's like 1 to 2 pounds per week. Some weeks are better than others. Some weeks you might lose maybe a half a pound. Other weeks you might hit the 1 to 2 pounds, and other weeks you might even stall and not see any changes happen. The reality of it is that there's never really a straight line where you just go from, point A all the way down to point B. It's like there's this up and down kind of thing that happens. But what happens is, overall, if you start here and you want to get here, instead of it being a straight line, it's like you're gonna, see some success and results happen, and then somewhere along the way you hit maybe a little sticking point and you level out. Some weeks you might, regress a little depending on what happens. Then you make another drop, and then things level out, and another drop. It's kind of up and down a little bit. But over time, you'll see from point A to point B, you're getting closer. The second thing we'll talk about is muscle gain. So if your goal is to build muscle, and if that's your main goal, then you can expect to see somewhere between, I want to say, about 1 to 2 pounds within a month. I would venture to say too, especially if you're over 40 or like me, over 50, it might be a little bit less than that. And that just depends on different factors. So, typically men over 40 might have lower testosterone, lower growth hormone. It's like those anabolic hormones that we need to build muscle. They're not as high as they might have been when we were younger. So the process becomes a little bit slower. And it just means that we don't get as dramatic of results as we might have gotten, years ago. But again, muscle building is a slow process. It's like I've always told clients that I've worked with, when they're trying to lose weight and they talk about how hard it is to lose weight. And I tell them, yeah, losing weight can be hard at times, but I'll tell you what's even harder is building muscle. Building muscle's harder than losing weight because building muscle requires extra energy from the body. It's a lot of work for the body to maintain more muscle because it costs more energy, and our bodies like to maintain a state of equilibrium. So it's definitely harder and it takes longer to happen, which is why you don't see the big results week to week. You're not typically going to gain 1 to 2 pounds of muscle in a week without gaining some extra body fat with that. So if you really just want to maximize muscle gain, you can expect something along the lines of, I'd say, 1 to no more than 2 pounds. And in some cases, 2 pounds, especially if you're over 40 or over 50, like I said, might be pushing it a little bit. So the thing you want to do though is making sure that you're tracking your body fat. Have a way to test your body fat week to week so that you can make sure if you are trying to build muscle, you want to know how much is actually muscle and how much is body fat. And if you're putting on, even if half the weight that you gain is body fat, then you probably want to make some changes so that you can minimize the fat gain and maximize the muscle gain. So the third thing is looking at the percent of body fat change that happens. So again, if we're looking at a realistic 3-month body transformation, I would say that approximately for every 2 pounds that you lose, you'll lose approximately 1% body fat. Now, that's not exact science. That just comes from, over 25 years of working with people and seeing what the trend, tends to be, like the common trend. And that's about where I've seen it. And I've seen it in myself as well, where, for about every 2 pounds that you drop, you can expect to lose about 1% of body fat. So let's say you have 20 pounds to lose. If you lose 20 pounds and let's say you start at 25% body fat, and after you lose 20 pounds, well, if every 2 pounds is about 1% body fat, you can expect to be at about 15% body fat-ish, right? So give or take maybe 1% or 2 up or down, but it's somewhere within that ballpark, and it gives a realistic look at what kind of changes you can expect in body fat percent over a 3-month period. So the fourth thing that we have to look at is training, because training is a big part of a body transformation. Now, if in a perfect world, if you were getting paid to just, work out and eat right and look great or perform great or whatever your goal is, and that's all you had to do, then you might have all the time in the world to train. You might be able to train 5 or 6 days a week or, whatever that might look like. But the reality is, if you're watching this video, you are probably over 40 or over 50, and you've got real life responsibilities that demand your time and your energy and your focus. You have things like work, and you have things like family and kids, and you don't have all the time in the world or all the days of the week to be going to the gym and training. So, if we're looking at what is realistic in a body transformation here, I would say for the most part, a minimum of 3 days per week to train, right? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, something like that, but a minimum of 3 days a week, because if you're not even able to commit to 3 days a week, it's tough. It's not to say you couldn't do maybe 2 days a week and get some results, but you're not going to get the best results possible. So shoot for a minimum of 3 days a week. And that doesn't mean that you need to be training for, 2 hours each workout or something crazy like that. You can get great results in the time that you have. And in fact, if you have just 30 to 60 minutes, that's really all you need. So, and the maximum would be 4 days a week. So 3 to 4 days a week training, I would say 3 days is the minimum. 4 days would be the optimum. So again, 4 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe something like that, where you can space it out, but work it to your schedule. And that would be more of a realistic training schedule for a body transformation in 3 months. The fifth thing that we want to talk about is nutrition, because again, as much as working out and training is important, nutrition is equally, if not more important, because no matter what, how the saying goes, you cannot out-train a bad diet. You just can't do it. So, with nutrition though, here's the thing. There's so much debate about what is the best nutrition program. Like, what should you be doing if you're in a body transformation? What does a realistic nutrition plan look like? Well, should you do keto? Should you do intermittent fasting? Should you go low carb? Do you just need to cut calories and tweak your macros, carbs, proteins, fat? Like, what does it look like? And I'll tell you, there are many different nutrition approaches that will work, but not every nutritional approach works for everyone, and not every nutritional approach works forever. There is no one best diet that works for everybody. And I would say that the best nutrition strategy is, quite honestly, the one that you can stick with. So, you don't want to be doing extreme things that are very difficult to maintain, that you don't feel good on. You got low energy, you feel weak, you're irritable, you're moody, you're hungry, because 1, it's not fun, 2, it's not sustainable, 3, how does it affect you, not only when you're trying to work out and, lose fat, lose weight, build muscle, but even more importantly, when you're on the job and you got to be at the top of your game. You've got to be mentally focused. You've got to be productive. You've got to be able to get things done. And you're not going to be able to do that if you're not feeling your best, and if you're not, if you're doing things with your diet that are extreme and aren't sustainable. And then the other thing is about when you're with your family, you need to have energy left at the end of the day when you come home to play with your kids or to be present with your wife or, things like that. So, keep it just keep it sensible, right? Keep it sustainable. When it comes to nutrition, sustainability is the key. There is no one size fits all when it comes to nutrition. Just, make your best effort to choose a nutrition strategy that you can stick with. And then you can always tweak it as you go, depending on the results that you get. All right, and then the final thing that we need to discuss, and this is something that is probably the most overlooked variable in body transformation programs, whether you're trying to lose weight, get lean and get rid of body fat, build muscle, one of the most overlooked and underrated things is sleep. And I will say this, if you are not getting enough sleep, and that doesn't mean just enough hours of sleep, it means enough quality sleep. Quantity plus quality is important when it comes to sleep. And if you're not getting enough of that, if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not getting a good enough quality of sleep, it's going to limit the results that you can achieve. So what we'd like to shoot for in a body transformation is at least somewhere within 6 to 8 hours a night. And again, I say that just to be realistic. Now, if we lived in a perfect world, the optimum would probably be closer to 8 to 9 hours every night. But, again, when we have family commitments and we have, work demands and, there's so many things that go on that occupy our time. And, we don't always have, 8 to 9 hours a night to sleep. It'd be great if we did, but realistically speaking, sometimes we're limited to maybe 4 to 6 hours if we're lucky. So I think that it's a lot more doable if you look at a 6 to 8 hour window and operate within there. On average, I tend to shoot for 7 hours a night, but to be quite honest, I rarely get it. Maybe on the weekends, I'll get closer to that, but during my weeks, when I've got, work and I've got, family commitments and I've got school projects and things that I've got to do, it's more like 6 hours is what I'm getting. Now, the 6 hours that I get is very good quality. And that's the other thing that we have to look at that I mentioned was quality of sleep. So, it's almost better, I would say, to get a little bit less sleep. So let's say, you get 8 hours of sleep, but you're tossing and turning all night. You keep waking up. And when you wake up in the morning, you feel unrested, you know, you need a pot of coffee just to wake up and get through, you know, the morning, like that's not a good thing. So, you know, you'd probably be better off getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep in that case. If your sleep was really good quality, you get deep, undisturbed, restful sleep. You wake up feeling like you've got energy, you feel recharged, you know, and you're ready to take on your day. So these are just different things that we have to look at. But the key point here is do not overlook the importance of sleep, because if you are not getting a good enough quantity and quality of sleep, it's going to limit the results you can get. So that's kind of an overall picture of what a realistic 3-month body transformation looks like and what kind of results you can expect and some of the things that you can look at in your own body transformation journey. So in the meantime, if you'd like more tips and tools to help you, check out this video here. And in the meantime, if you like this video, be sure to like the video and subscribe to this channel. And I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.